Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Visual Radio. It's my 40th year on TV, and we're recording here at the 25th floor of the wonderful WCAT Palace in Wakefield. It's the only access station with 25 floors, and we're on the 25th floor. And my guests tonight are Kitty Hogg and Jesse Braintree of the band Jesse and the Hogg Brothers. Welcome to WCAT.
It is my pleasure to be here, especially after climbing all those stairs. You should get an elevator next time.
We do have an elevator, but I used it.
You didn't tell me that.
I did. That was intentional.
Oh yeah, I need the work.
Do you get, Kitty, do you mind heights?
Actually, I am afraid of heights, but if there's a high enough wall in front of me, that's okay. I think actually it's a fear of jumping for most people.
We're talking about a brand new album, a fascinating album, because it's Jesse and the Hogg Brothers live, but live in Harlem.
Exactly.
And you're a Boston, Vegas, Texas band.
We're basically an American band, so we have band members.
See that.
We have band members all across this great country, and I'm related to all of them, and so so we get together and do little family reunions in whatever city we play. I just got back from me and Kenny were down in Atlanta last week, and had a tremendous time while we were down there, and we'll be actually back in Harlem for our next shows, April 5th and 6th. And what's kind of exciting is the place we recorded our new CD is the Shrine. It's not going to be officially released to the 30th, but obviously product has already been manufactured, and so we're selling it at the CD release parties right now, and we'll have two of those in New York City, both in Harlem, one at the Shrine World Music Venue, and the other at Silvana, which is a really cool place that's a stone's throw away from the Apollo.
Now, when you play Indianapolis, you have members of the band, members of the family that are out there.
Yeah, Pappy lives in right outside of Louisville in New Albany, Indiana, and then we got Bloomer John Hogg. He lives in Indiana somewhere in the deep woods. Then Kenny came up from Texas the last time.
I'm sorry, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio.
We have two band members in Columbus, Ohio as well. We're going to be playing Indianapolis, in fact, on the 11th of April, and then the 12th and the 13th we're going to be in Columbus, Ohio, doing two shows in Columbus. So, it's right now we're just supporting the CD, but the official date is April 30th, and we're going to be right here in the greater Boston area at the Midway, and the Midway's in Jamaica Plain, but if you're not from Jamaica Plain, you'd call it Boston because it's in the Boston street directory. So for those people that don't live in Jamaica Plain, it's Boston.
Isn't that Washington Street?
But it's right on Washington Street in
So
Jamaica
it goes
Plain.
right into Boston.
Yeah,
It is Boston.
it is Boston, but it is JP, and the people in JP have been super nice to us. We've been fortunate enough to play the JP Music Festival not once but twice. So Rick Berlin, Seamus, and all the other people involved. In fact, we were just helping them out. They had a little fundraiser, so Cash and I just decided to go down and do a couple of acoustic songs at the Field of Love Fest, or was it Smell the Love, whatever it was. There was a lot of love in the room. We did a few songs. It was a fundraiser to help raise money to help put on this year's JP Fest. We will not be appearing in this year's JP Fest, not because we don't want to, but one thing I don't do is I don't impose myself on. They were nice enough to have us there not once but twice, and it's bound to give other people a chance to play because it's.
That is Rick Berlin's baby too, and he just played the Club Bohemia for the first time. It was great to have Rick there.
Was he have his full band or was it just Rick?
He's got a new band. I forget the name of it. I should know these things, but he has a new band, and it rocks. And I heard Mickey Bliss said they were phenomenal.
That's something I would expect from Rick.
Yep.
Not for anything. Some people I don't know what to expect, but for Rick, he's well connected with a lot of very talented people.
Oh, the first time I saw him play was the Orpheum Theater with Orchestra Luna opening for Roxy Music, 74.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I mean, so he's not a. I mean, he might be a legend in his own mind, but he's actually a legend, especially in JP. People have known him if his band's playing, you can be sure there's going to be a crowd there.
Yeah.
So he's done a great job over the years, and I think I've talked enough about Rick right now. I mean, I like Rick, but I don't. I mean, I want to talk about me. I want to talk about my band.
I know you do.
And
I
want
think
to
for
talk
the
about.
JP Fest.
And I want to talk about. I want to talk about this great CD right here. This is my friend Popak on the cover, and I probably pronounce his name wrong because I'm good at that. But he works at the Shrine, and he bought this T-shirt. Then he sent me a selfie of him wearing it, and I saw it, and I was like, "Can I use your picture on the cover?" And then once we sent the artwork to him, he's been posting it and stuff. So it's just great to. I mean, at the end of it all, and I'm sure it's coming. You know, it comes for all of us. It's the people you meet, it's the relationships you build, and hopefully the lives you've touched. So whether it be us personally or whether through the music, I just really feel blessed that that I'm able to have like a family reunion and go out and play. So we've got a bunch of gigs coming up. We just booked ourselves over at Waddy Stock. And
where's that going to be?
That's going to be in Waddy, Kentucky.
Yikes, you're all over the map.
Yeah, I mean we've gone as far west as Las Vegas as far as appearances. We've gone as far south as San Antonio in Texas, which is pretty far south in the state of Texas.
You need a visual map, like a digital map, on your website, and then you
Little
have
pins.
Fill the states in.
We'll have the neon pins, so like like pumping and because there's no
means-
Boston band doing this.
Well, I mean everyone does their own thing, And
I haven't seen the Dropkick Murphys in Vegas. So.
yeah, so I mean there's bands that tour out of Boston.
Right, but I'm saying you guys are out there more than most regional acts playing around the country.
Well, that's because we focus on playing original music, and I'm not trying to. I mean, I don't want to. I'm not here to talk bad about anybody. I say it all the time. If I wanted to make money, we'd be a tribute band, or we'd be playing other people's
Play
music.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And we do
basically.
one Johnny Cash song, and so when on the odd chance that we play it, and you're there, and you yell out another one, you got a better chance of winning the lottery without buying a ticket, because that's the only one we play. We know like one song from about 4 different bands, but the focus of us is on our original music, and hopefully people like it, and the people that do come and see us, and the people that don't probably won't come see us again, but we still hope that maybe one of our newer songs will be good. In fact,
Well, Kitty does a song, The Green Acres, is that on there?
no.
So Green Acres.
Green
theme.
Haze.
Green Haze.
We
Yeah,
call that
awesome.
Green
That's a
Haze
fun
because,
one.
but
But you do a duet, kind of like a Sunday
There's
show.
Well, we do a-
Gabor and
we do a few. I mean,
what's his name?
she sings on a lot of stuff where we do duets, and
What are some of the others?
Biker Ann, she does the Biker Ann voice.
Yeah.
You
And,
dance a lot too.
And dance. Yep.
Yeah, well, here's the
Little-
thing,
local
we
color,
were at this
whatever.
club in New Hampshire, and I'll just leave them nameless because that's the way I am. Because I forgot which club it was, to be honest
there
with
you
you.
go.
But I know it was New Hampshire, and so there's a whole table of people, and what happened was, we were just in the middle of finishing our videos that we recorded over at the Bridge Sound and Stage, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Xander Hayes is our videographer, and he did a phenomenal job on a few videos with the band. So I was just joking with Xander, and I said to him, I says, we have this song, Rusty, which is it's actually called Old Smeller. It's about one of my dogs, and who's not with us anymore.
Rusty
And-
from the Christmas album.
Right, from the album Rusty Love Christmas. So anyway, I mentioned it was really hard to do the video because it's a story. So we'd have to find a dog and train him. And then he goes, yeah, that'd be tough. I says, maybe we get someone wearing a dog costume. And he immediately said to me, oh, I really like people wearing animal costumes. And I'm like, okay, so you're into the into the furries, and he didn't appreciate that. But anyway, I went out and bought a dog costume, it cost me, I don't know, $20. It was after Halloween, so you got it on discount. So I bought it, but I've never, and so I'm just talking with Kitty and I'm saying, you know, it'd really be nice if I could get somebody to wear this dog costume while we're doing the Rusty song. And she says, well, I'll do it. So this is the first night we do it. We're at this club in New Hampshire.
No shame.
All of a sudden, we start playing Rusty, and she comes up on all fours wearing the dog costume. So
You never saw her do it before.
no, this was the first. I mean,
performance.
I saw her put the costume on prior, but that was about as deep as it got. So she's over there, and it's hilarious. She's sniffing everybody in the band, acting like a dog, you know? So everyone's having a great time and
fun.
stuff. So we get off the stage, and so this bunch of guys who are like yelling for songs and stuff. So I walk up to them and go, hey, how's it going, guys, and everything else. They're going, hey, what's the story with the woman in the dog costume? I said, well, that's my wife, Kitty. And they said, man, yeah? I says, yeah. I says, you guys think you're all cool and you think you're your own man and stuff. I says, how many of you guys could get anybody to put on a dog costume? I says, and you know why? I says, because women love pigs. But they love hogs even more. And I'm a hog. Because everyone wonders, well, your name's Braintree, right? Well, I say this every night on stage. I introduce the band, everyone's hog, you know, and so they go, you probably wonder what the relationship is. My mother was a hog. And so I'm also from the hog family tree, and I get to play with all my family, and we have a great time. And
But if your mother was a hog and your wife's name is Hogg and you're Braintree, how does that all work?
all right, so you
It's
really want to know the
complicated.
complications. Okay. So she was married to my cousin, Robert T. Okay, and
Oh, him.
and that, well, exactly. So I know, his loss was my gain. So that's, so my wife's a hog, but I'm still a Braintree. Pretty cool. And she keeps the hog name, so this way when she performs, she's a hog like everybody else in the band.
I got there as soon as I could to
Exactly.
being a hog.
I find it fascinating that you have a member in Texas, but he and you go to Atlanta. So it's kind of like mix and match.
No, it's real easy because see, it's a short flight. In fact,
kind of neat.
I'm on. It's an hour and a half flight from Dallas to Atlanta. It's about 2 hours and change from Boston. So it just works out that we both met there, and this was another great trip. The last time we were down there, in fact, I don't know if you saw the video up on Facebook, but we played a place called Cat's Cafe.
I think I recall it.
And so we walked in there, and we were just looking for something to do. We were flying out the next morning, and we looked. Whenever we look for something to do, we look for open mics. Okay, you're in town, you might as well perform. I don't want to sit in the hotel, and so we'll go. We saw open mics, so we go to Cat's Cafe. It's in downtown Atlanta. We walk in. Thing's supposed to start at 7:30, so we got there an hour early so we could get up on the sign-up sheet so we're not there all night. So we get there, and they don't even have a sign-up sheet. I see a drum kit on the stage, and there's a mic stand, and there's this young woman walking around, and I said, hey, when's open mic start? She goes, my name's Kat, and I don't run it, but she goes, the people will be here shortly. So, we started realizing it's her place, so but what we don't realize, she's a world-renowned performer, both vocalist and drummer. We don't realize that coming in the room to setting up the open mic is a Grammy Award winner named Al Smith, and it's his orchestra that's going to be playing.
Whoa.
And it's not really an open mic, it's open vocalist. But you can perform too if you want to play. So finally we realized, and we're getting up there, and they tell us the rules, and I'm like, I came here to do one song? And that's what it was. You do one song, and the orchestra's behind you. So we did one of my originals, and the whole band kicks in. But just to show you how cool things are in Atlanta and how nice the people were there, as soon as we're done finishing the song, I'm shaking hands with Al and a few other people as we're walking off the stage, and the band starts playing my song again. And the
And
song was
Kat is singing it.
and now
Wow.
the other woman, Robin
okay, different
Lattimore,
one.
I believe that's her name, and Robin, if I'm wrong on pronouncing your last name, I'm sorry. But she starts singing. She changes the words, but still keeps the chorus, and it's pretty funny. And next thing you know, the band's playing. The band just keeps playing it, and she says, "I guess we're going to do this song all night." So I walked out pretty flattered, and you know. People say, well, you basically do country music, right? So what are you doing playing in Harlem? And there's only two kinds of music, guys and gals out there. There's the kind people like and the kind they don't. So I guess we fell into the former, at least in Harlem. And we're
In
down in
Atlanta.
Atlanta in
Yeah.
Cat's Cafe. And as the crowd filled in, we realized, besides the waiter, we're the only people wearing cowboy shirts, and we're the only two Caucasians in the room. And it doesn't matter. You know, it's different. It's different in Atlanta.
Now,
It's
do you have
different
the-
in Harlem.
Do you have that all taped with the band playing the
Oh
song?
yeah, that's all
With-
on the video. In fact, I didn't even realize it, but Al Smith, he videoed us. He said I had a stinking suspicion that you guys were going to be interesting. In fact, he invited me to come down. He was running an open mic on Thursday night. So we finished our gig because we had an early night gig at a restaurant. And then when we were done, we drove into downtown Atlanta to the Apache Club. Apache Club's been there for 20 plus years. It is what a spot. And I just feel like it was really cool just to get there. So we get there, but by the time we got there, it was late, and the sign-up sheet was already in the 30s. So I know we're not going to play.
Yeah.
So we hung out. I saw Al, but there was like 4 or 5 celebrities in the room. So he's making sure he's taking care of the celebrities. So I'm not offended. He literally walked by me and goes, "Hi." And that's about as deep as we got. I mean, I had an opportunity to talk to him earlier while we first got there. He was outside talking with a few people. But again, you know, I don't expect people to get all excited. Oh, Jesse Braintree's here, you know. And when they are, I'm very flattered, you know. But again, I'm realistic. We're playing original music. We're evangelizing it by playing all over the country, and now that we put out this live album, I think people are finally going to get an idea of what we really sound like live. Because, you know, as many of my band members have said to me, we don't sound like we sound in the studio. I said, well, you should sound better in the studio. You get to fix everything and make it kind of perfect.
That's right.
But this is us, warts and all, that you'll hear on this. And it's got all your favorite songs, including Biker Ann, Love Buckets, Cream Gravy, The Hogtail Twist,
A
Fishing
dance
and
number.
Drinking, Reminds Me of You, and our Christmas song, because, by the way, one of the things I do, I put a Christmas song on every CD. On this one, it's Santa's Got a Bag of Coal. Then we got White Trash. Oh, I can't say that. I'm sorry. W Trash Meth Lab, because it got me banned off Facebook. I can't say W Trash.
But you can say Meth
You can
Lab.
beat me here if you have to. Are you available for Dayton, Sunday School, Fake It, Party in My Pants, The Hammer, Cashville, Get in Place, The Big Pink Rig,
That's a lot of songs.
and Don't Mess with Texas.
She looks like she drinks more than a man, Biker Ann.
That's
2
Biker
drinks in her
Ann.
hand.
About a year ago, I get a phone call to come to Wakefield in the snow. It was Jesse and the Hogg Brothers here in Wakefield, performing a little club, a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, it was a
down in
Chinese restaurant.
Greenwood, down in Greenwood. So
And I had Joe Bob with me. And he's
Joe
on
Bob.
this album, folks. And if you want to hear
Yep.
someone who's a super talent,
very talented, and right here in Wakefield, I taped it all.
Joe Bob, in fact, he's going to be at both shows in Harlem. He's not at every show, you know, because it's hard to get him on the work release program. You know, when we were down in San Antonio, they ended up nabbing him in front of the Alamo for some alimony and child support or whatever the heck it was. That's what he said it was. I don't know. All I know is,
It's happened to some famous
you
people.
know, is that
Get him on the stage.
But we can get him on work release when we play in Harlem, so they let him out, and he does the couple of gigs, and they take him away.
So how do we get him to Wakefield?
Well,
I don't know.
he was.
He did say he likes
He
his,
was on work release, and we
he
kind
likes
of.
his ankle bracelet. Because then he can.
He has a GPS that he wears.
Pull
So
it
as
up.
long as he's got the GPS on,
But he hates taking his boot off to see where he is, but it
Tells
works.
him where he is. So, are you going to come back to the Greenwood place? That was cool. The guy was really nice. The open mic there.
we you know, again, I mean when I do local open mics, it's usually because I want to try a new song out we wrote or whatever. So yeah, we'll probably go back there because
It was great.
Because it was a nice atmosphere,
Yep.
and there was a lot of creative people playing
Yes.
original music. There are a few people that do the usuals. They'll play Brown Eyed Girl or by Van Morrison or something like that, and that's cool too.
He
But
was a wicked nice guy, and he's on Facebook. He's got a good presence. So yeah, that was
I mean,
fun.
I and one of the things I've always thought about doing is maybe running our own open mic because we're friends with so many local bands and stuff that I think that's something that I probably would enjoy running one as much as crashing one. Because one thing I got is plenty of equipment to be able to do it. So if you're out there and you're trying to boost your business, say on a Tuesday, Wednesday night, and you don't mind having musicians in your establishment, we probably can get people there, entertain them, and
You
they'll
are quite
spend money.
entertaining.
They'll spend money while they're there, and again, it wouldn't. In default comes, and the place is not busy with a lot of people, then we'll play more ourselves. But the goal, if we do an open mic, obviously, is to let other people play.
Have the community come out and just have fun.
Exactly.
They can do poetry, maybe.
Oh, sure, as long as it's not like the poetry I heard in Atlanta.
All right.
We heard some. We played this open mic on Tuesday night while we were down there, and they also let people do poetry. But it was an all ages crowd, and I think you could substitute other words. That you put in for like shock value. I think if there's children present, I think what you do is you change the word, and that's why sometimes people will listen to our albums and stuff, and like we've played the last 2 years at Yankee Homecoming up in Newburyport, and obviously there's concerns there. I mean, it's an open forum. There's children there and everything. It's like you guys aren't going to do anything colorful, and I say no. We're there to play to the crowd that's there. And if it's a family crowd, we're a family band. And if it's Vegas and it's a nightclub crowd and you got to get down and dirty, we're not afraid to do that either.
Well, you said New Orleans. That's how you pronounced it.
That's how they pronounce it.
New Orleans. So at New Orleans, when did you play there recently?
We were down there in February, which is a great time to be there. And we also, besides playing New Orleans, we also went to the next parish over, and I'm going to mispronounce the name of that if I can think of it. But anyway,
Washita?
no, it's
But our show is like we're focusing every week. We ask people about the opioid crisis because it's everywhere, and we want to try to get a handle on it. So you were down in New Orleans. There was a band that opened for you.
Yeah, we were at this. There's a guy that owns 4 combination laundromat, bar and grill, restaurant, and live bands. So we're at this
That's a
place.
good mix.
It was great. In fact, I when I first got there, when we first arrived at the place, we were talking to the guy on the porch. Ex Air Force. He's worked at a lot of different big manufacturers doing stuff. And I said, and I turned to Kenny and I go, did you expect to meet someone this interesting at a laundromat, bar, grill, and so anyway, we're there at the bar, and this is so cool. You can't make. This is why you get out on the road if you're a performer, because you can't make this stuff up. Life is just better than anything they got on that you're going to turn on and watch something that Hollywood created. So we walk in there, and the theater itself starts. Woman comes in, she goes up to the bar and says, "How much to do laundry?" And they said, $2, we'll get you quarters. Unfortunately, honey, we're all out of soap, but you can get it two drawers down. She said, the heck with that. Give me a double shot of Jack and give me the quarters for the laundry. So we basically watched her sipping down her double shot and throw her clothes in the laundry. And it's right next to the pool table. So as you're doing your laundry, you got to keep moving because you might get hit with a pool stick. I mean, it was just fantastic stuff. Then of course, we are just about to go on, and this young woman who is, I don't know, probably no older than 25 years old, walks up to me and she goes, you guys are going on next. And I wasn't even sure what she said. Okay, but that is what she said because Kenny translated it for me. And she was wailing her arms like this, wailing her arms, Beto O'Rourke or whatever his name is. I don't know his name. I don't care
That
what his
guy,
name
yeah.
is. But I did notice that he waves his arms a lot, and so did she. And so I said, and I looked at her, and she was probably about 90 pounds at most. She had tracks all over her arms. So I'm looking at her saying, I feel so bad. There's nothing I can say or do to change what you're doing. That's one of the big fallacies, is that if we only had a program, they would all turn their life around. No. Like alcohol, like any drug, like any form of addiction, overeating, whatever it is, until you, the person who's affected with that addiction, comes to the realization that I want help and I want to change, nothing else can do it unless you're going to do one of those things where they kidnap you and strap you down to tables. And I don't think that really works, but I guess it works. I don't know. Someone will tell you it works, but I don't think that's very civil either. So as far as the problem, whether it happened because some physician wanted to make extra money with pharmaceutical kickbacks, or whether you made the mistake of trying it because you wanted to be cool, or unfortunately with human trafficking, which is real, and you get kidnapped, and the next thing you know, they're injecting you until you're hooked. These are things that happen, and no matter how you get to that point, when you finally realize to yourself that you want help, then I can help, you can help, she can help, we all can help each other. So again, I don't think any political leaders have any answers to these type of problems. I think they just pontificate and play to the crowd because I'm more compassionate than the other person. I just look for what they really are. They're just looking to get elected so they can hook up their friends and family with jobs and other perks. So you can say I'm cynical, and I will agree that I'm cynical. I'm not telling you how to vote. You vote any way you want. I could care less. All I know is that every time I've voted for as long as I've been around, I always vote for the lesser of two evils. I usually have one hand on the lever and the other one on my nose. Because, so if you ask me who I voted for, probably not anybody that ever wins, but I'm used to whoever I'm voting for not winning, because I generally, if you're in, I probably will vote for who's out. Because I thought you were supposed to serve and then go home. And
Right.
What they do is they serve and they keep serving. And I don't like what they're serving because all I know is I'm not getting any benefits from any of them. And I don't need anything, I want you, the people that are watching this, to potentially listen to the album, potentially come to one of our shows, and then you can give us this one, or you can give us this one, or you can give us this one, because it's music, it's art, its beauty is in the beholder. So there could be 7 people in the room, and all 7 people have a different favorite band. It's just the way it is.
So we've got 90 seconds left, and you're going to be doing the record release party April 30th?
April 30th, but we're going to be, again, real quick, April 5th and 6th in Harlem. Then after that, Indianapolis, couple gigs in Columbus. Then we're going to take a break, come back to Massachusetts and get ready. We've got a great bill over at the Midway Cafe on Washington Street. We're going to be playing with the Slick Sharks. We're going to be playing with Taylor and Tiffany. We're sneaking in our good friend Hanson Barlow, baby. And
He likes cats.
He likes cats, just like us. And also, we're going to have the Screw Top Sommeliers playing. And if you want to hear some really good picking and
Joe
stuff,
Bob is in that.
fantastic. Joe Bob is also, he's on work release that night, and that's his side project. So Joe Bob will be playing with his band. And in fact, you should have him on the opioid crisis, because he does a song on his album called I Got No Spoons. And
Well, Kitty Hogg, Jesse Braintree, awesome to have you here. I want to hear about the, next time you're on, I got to have you back. Half hour's not enough. I want to hear about the Vegas situation you were talking about. There's also stuff to talk about with you, and I want to talk about your other albums, because I love the first album. I'm not going to say the name.
yeah.
This is Joe Viglione here. I want to thank Paul Norman, our director. I want to thank Ryan here at WCAT and Tom Stapleton, and thank you